What's up? It's CJ Pierce from Drownpool. And this is the Punk.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of The Punk, covering wrestling and mixed martial arts exclusively now. This show every Sunday will be covering the week prior, basically, in the world of mixed martial arts and wrestling. It's been a big week this week. We've had Wrestlemania, we've had the Ultimate Fighter last night, and of course Monday Night Raw and Friday Night Smackdown. This show will be used basically to review the weeks, to basically cover everything that's happened, opinions, backstage stuff, any news, rumours, things like that. So what better way to kick off with one of the biggest weeks in wrestling, WrestleMania 29. It was a good show, actually. I thought it was good. A few people, mostly the internet wrestling community, don't agree. They thought it was a flop. They thought it was probably just as bad as WrestleMania 27, which I actually disagree with. I thought the show was put together quite well. It had some good matches. For the first time in a few years, actually, the WWE actually paid a lot of attention to the undercard. The matches were still, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes long, but that's what you're going to get at WrestleMania. You're not going to have 15-minute epics all night. They're reserved for the main event matches. So excuse me. Last year we opened up the show with an 18-second match between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, which shocked me. I was devastated that two wrestlers of that caliber were just given 18 seconds, and WWE obviously righted that wrong by opening up the event with the six-man tag team match with Sheamus, Big Show and Randy Orton. And the match was good. They faced the Shield, as most of you know. They've been an unstoppable six-man tag team. They've been unstoppable trio since their debut. And they've been booked well. So they got the win. There's a bit of development with Sheamus, Big Show and Orton. Fans were disappointed. They were hoping that Orton was going to turn heel. That didn't happen. They're obviously saving it for another time, as evidenced by what we saw on Raw. Nothing too bad there. So I think the main concerns, the main issues from the rest of the wrestling community came from the fact that they didn't really get what they wanted. There was no Ziggler cash-in at WrestleMania. The Rock lost. The Rock had to lose. He appeared on Raw in the build-up to WrestleMania like twice in 6 weeks. So, you have to have the title on every week. You do. And love him or hate him, I'm not a John Cena fan at all. I think he sucks. But outside of the ring and inside the company, inside the organisation, he has that factor. He will be there every week. He'll do the promotional campaigns. He'll do the Be a Star. He'll do the Susan G. Komen, or however you pronounce it, Cure for Cancer. He's a consummate professional, and love him or hate him, he is the man to hold that title. And I think he'll hold it probably until SummerSlam, probably slightly, maybe even afterwards. I think he's due a long title reign. It's been a long time since he's held it, so I'm pleased he got the win. The Rock still, it didn't make him look terrible, did it? He got his finishing moves in. I didn't think the match was as good as last year's, but I did think that there were certain psychological elements in the match that were quite tidy and quite clever and nicely done as well. So that's that. Obviously, the match of the night. There were two, really, in my opinion. There was Undertaker CM Punk and Triple H Brock Lesnar. And those matches delivered really on what they were being marketed as and promoted as, and the Undertaker Punk match, great psychology. I do think, though, that Taker, he should have wrapped it up last year. I do think. Finishing on 20-0 is a good way to go out, and what else can he do? What else can he do now? I think he'll face John Cena next year. at 30, and that will probably be it. That will be the best way for him to go. Punk, as rumoured, he's going to be taking some time off, so it would have been perfect for him to obviously go out and take some time off after that loss. But he's going to appear apparently tomorrow night on Raw, so we shall see. Maybe he gets attacked. Maybe Brock Lesnar starts programming with him. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to try and speculate as to what's going to happen there. But they put on a great show, and they were the match of the night, or one of the matches of the night. Triple H, Brock Lesnar. We've already seen it at SummerSlam, but their encounter was much better, much improved, more violent. Brock Lesnar seems to have worked on his physique. He looks more akin to the Brock Lesnar, the next big thing that we last saw in 2004, that freak animal. He didn't really have it in the UFC. He obviously had that bout with tuberculosis, which basically, fucked up all of his guts. So, it's good. I like having Brock Lesnar in the company. Brock Lesnar equals ratings and buy rates. And even if fans might not like the fact that he appears every blue moon, I think he can turn up and he can put on a good show, maybe put somebody over every now and again. I think logically the next thing for him to move on to would be some sort of internal strife with CM Punk, with Paul Heyman caught in the middle. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But overall, WrestleMania 29 wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst by any means. And on to that, we'll move on to Monday Night Raw, which was unreal. It was amazing. The Raw after WrestleMania is usually, awesome. The crowd is usually made up of an international variety. A lot of fans, they buy their WrestleMania tickets and they actually get a Raw ticket included as well, so they go to that, and some of them love it, some of them hate it, and as a result they make their feelings known with some of the crazy chants that we heard. We heard Ole chants, we heard RVD chants, we heard pretzel chants, we heard a Michael Cole chant. Epic. They also created what is now known as Fandango. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. They basically put over Fandango in the same way they put over Daniel Bryan last year with the Yes chants. Fantastic. Great for Johnny Curtis, who had a great match with Chris Jericho as well at WrestleMania. I'm not jumping on his bandwagon. I thought he was good to begin with. So he's paid his dues with some horrible programs on NXT a couple of years ago. So it's nice to see him, living up to his potential. So, but the crowd were absolutely brilliant. We saw Dolph Ziggler finally cash in that Money in the Bank contract against Alberto Del Rio, which received one of the biggest pops I've ever heard on Monday Night Raw. Certainly, I think it was probably even bigger than Brock Lesnar's return pop last year. It was huge, deafening. I don't like Monday Raws usually. I watch them obviously to do the live commentary on Twitter, and obviously to post it on the site. But Raw is usually just made up of squash matches and needless promos and some horrible comedy skits. So it was nice to see Monday Night Raw being used properly, and it was a fantastic show as a result. We'll never see it again. We won't see it again until next year probably. But it was a good 3 hours, and on the 3 hour front, I mean, I've been a long time sayer that 3 hour Raws means that the WWE product is too overexposed. Those 3 hours just whooshed by. It was good to see. Smackdown, obviously the crowd would have died down a little bit, as to be expected. It's a taped show as well, taped on Tuesday nights, so a lot of the crowd that you might have heard might have been dubbed over, some lukewarm reactions from the crowd, but I still think that it was a decent show. I sometimes struggle to understand WWE's logic. Triple H comes out and 3-man band come out and tell him to shut up. It's like, you're telling your boss to shut up, and one of you guys can't. You guys can't even beat Zack Ryder, R-Truth, as Santino on Raw. I mean, what makes you guys think you're going to be able to beat on the boss? But obviously, the Shield come and save the day before targeting Triple H, and Team Hell No run in to make the save. So they're obviously building towards some sort of program. I don't think The Undertaker's going to be at Extreme Rules. The dirt sheets have been saying that there's going to be some sort of tag team title rivalry where the Shield might take the titles off of Team Hell No, and I don't know, maybe utilise the Freebird ruling and share the titles between them. That would be interesting to see. Maybe that could be their demise. Maybe they argue over who should be the champions. We'll see. But yeah, it's a very good week in WWE, and unfortunately, we have to be realistic. And tomorrow night we won't see what we saw last week. We won't see the mad pops. We won't see great storytelling. We won't see the great wrestling. We won't see Wade Barrett win the WWE title, the Intercontinental title. We'll probably be jobbing out to Kofi Kingston again or something like that. Saying, yeah, Kofi Kingston always gets a push after WrestleMania. I've noticed this for over the last couple of years. So yeah. That brings the WWE section to a close. UFC, the MMA section, has been a bit quieter. I mean, they're building to a lot of the cards that are coming in the coming months. You have Chael Sonnen and John Jones coming very, very soon. And on that note, they were both coaching on the most recent season of The Ultimate Fighter. One of the best seasons since the beginning. Not just because of Uriah Hall, who's just a freak knockout artist, killing everyone, putting them in hospital. But it had a really good mix of high-level grapplers, great submission artists, and obviously knockout kings, as evidented by Uriah Hall, the man to beast. And he was riding a massive hype train, riding into to the Ultimate Fighter finale last night. Voice is still a little bit sore, please excuse. So I stayed up and watched it last night and did my live tweets as usual, and a fantastic show overall, brilliant. Usually the Ultimate Fighter finales really suck. I mean, they're just filled with fights that have nothing to do with the show. Roy Nelson against Matt Mitrione was the last one. It was originally supposed to be Roy Nelson against Shane Carwin, but Shane had to pull out, unfortunately, and I don't think we'll ever see him again. But it wasn't necessary. This, however, was necessary. I mean, it was headlined by Uriah Faber and Scott Jorgensen, but still, I mean, it was a good fight, and you always have to. UFC obviously have to have some sort of headlining bout just in case their Ultimate Fighter fights fail to live up to the hype. And in this case, it didn't fail to live up to the hype. It actually exceeded expectations in the way that we actually got an upset in Kelvin Gastelum, who basically was the last pick on this show, and battled his way to the final as an underdog. I mean, he was beating people. He submitted Josh Saman, Bob McDaniel, who I didn't really think much of anyway, but he came to the house as the most experienced fighter, and got tapped very quickly by this 21-year-old kid. An accountant as well, apparently, I think. So, obviously they never gave Gastelum a chance. They never gave him a playbook, certainly last night, as he managed to eke out a split decision victory over Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall won't be damaged by this. Look out for him in the next year. He'll probably be headlining a card somewhere down the line. Dana White obviously has huge plans and designs for this guy. Scary knockout power, and also the way he finished Dylan Andrews to get to the final. I mean, finishing a guy from the bottom is very difficult. I mean, I'm not a UFC practitioner. I don't claim to be, and I'd probably get killed. But I know a little thing about fighting. In these fights, and finishing a guy from the bottom is incredibly difficult. So the way he did that was unreal. He deserved his place in the final. He's still going to do well, but last night was Kelvin's night, and absolute congratulations to that kid. He's going to be brilliant, I hope, in the years to come. So, Ultimate Fighter finale. We actually had a women's fight again last night. It's the second women's fight in UFC history after Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche 2 months ago, and this time it was Kat Zingano versus Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate was a former Strikeforce Women's Champion. Kat Zingano undefeated previously in 6 professional bouts, and Christ, I mean, these guys burnt the house down. They were awesome. They went scrapping from the moment the bell rang to the moment Zingano kneed Tate into oblivion to set up her coaching role on TUF 18 and a future title shot against Rousey. I'm not sure she probably has what it takes to beat Rousey. I think it's probably going to be another armbar finale, you know, quick win. You know, she might be able to push it to the limit. She has devastating knees, Kat Zingano. She really took it to Tate, and I mean Tate has a bit of a crushed nose anyway, but her nose was looking really sore and red. So that was an unbelievable fight. So Ronda Rousey, Liz Carmouche introduced women's martial arts, mixed martial arts to UFC and mainstream audiences, but Miesha Tate and Kat Zingano definitely have got those fans in the door now, and I think there'll be a big demand for a lot of women's martial arts fights down the line. So watch this space on that front. Not a lot else to really say on mixed martial arts. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but Matt Mitrione was suspended for some rather controversial remarks over the fighter who was a transgendered fighter. Not really sure what to say on it. I think he had a right to speak his mind. I mean, after all, we're all entitled to do that. That's why I'm making this video. But there is a time and a place, and you know, if you are employed by a company as large as the UFC and Zuffa, I mean, you have to maintain professionalism, and you know, we're trying to break down barriers here. The first step was to get women involved in mixed martial arts in the UFC, and Dana White, props to him for making that U-turn. Fantastic. And you know, inspiring hopefully a generation of women fighters, and getting rid of that whole cliche that women belong in the kitchen. Mine certainly doesn't. She should be ironing right now. I'm joking. No, she would beat me up. She could. So it's great that women are fighting in the UFC and getting that mainstream acceptance that they rightfully deserve. So Mitrione's comments about the transgendered fighter were perhaps a little bit, you know, not at the right time. So the suspension, he won't, you know, it's not his career over. It's not his UFC career over for certain. We will see him again, but he'll just need to obviously watch his mouth going forward. So that just about wraps it up for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I haven't said too many times, but I'll just say it again. So, you know, watch out for me every Sunday. I'll be bringing these videos and basically looking at the week prior. We're going to have another mixed martial arts event, UFC on Fox 7. Gilbert Melendez makes his UFC debut, taking on the reigning lightweight champion Benson Smooth Henderson. It should be a good event, so watch out for my review and analysis on that next week. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and check out all of the previous videos and all of the future videos to come. Check out the site. It's obviously now pro wrestling and mixed martial arts exclusive, but it's going to be filled with a lot of content soon. And if you do have Twitter, definitely follow me on that. I'm going to be doing a lot of live tweeting and trying to get a new following on there. One other thing I'd like to do actually going forward is if you have any questions that you'd like answered, if you want my opinions on anything, you know, such as ongoing storylines or fights that I would like to see in the UFC, give me a shout out. I will read them during the show, and also give you a little hashtag down the bottom of the screen. So let me know, inbox me, comment at the bottom of this video, and thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you all next week.